Chapter 2, Plants, Structure and Functions. The root, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. of different plants are different. We can identify plants with the help of these different characteristics. Let us now acquaint ourselves with these plants' organ in greater details. Keep a moistened ball of crumpled paper in a conical flask. Place some soaked moth, beans, grams, seeds in the flask between the paper and the glass wall. Observe and note the changes in the seeds in 2 or 3 days. The part that grows from inside the seed toward the soil is called the radicle, and the part that grows above the soil is called the plumule. Mark this both definition. Both definitions are important. The root that forms from the radicle grows into the ground. The root is thick near the ground and gradually tapers to a pointed end. This part of the plant growing below the soil for support is called root. Mark this definition. Roots of some plants produce secondary roots that grow obliquely. Obliquely means indirectly, not in a particular direction, and spread far and wide in the soil. Roots support the plant. This type of root is called a taproot. Mark this definition. Roots bear hair-like processes near the root tips. These are root hairs. Mark this point. The root tip is delicate. This is the region of the growth of the plant. The tip is covered by cap-like structure called the root cap. Mark this definition. The root cap protects the root tip from injuries. Here the question can be asked, what is the function of root cap? Take a glass jar and fill 3/4 of it with water. Place an onion on the mouth of the jar in such a way that its roots are toward the water. Observe the growth of the roots for 8 days. Thread-like or fiber-like roots arising from the stem are called fibrous root. Mark this definition. Thus, there are two main types of root, taproot and fibrous root. Dicotyledonous plants have tap roots, while monocotyledonous plants have fibrous root. Dicotyledon seeds mean seeds that get divided into two equal parts, and monocotyledon seeds mean the seeds that do not get divided into two equal parts. So the seeds of plants like mustard, sorghum, jowar, maize, corn, pea, coriander, etc. in earthen pot. Cultivate the plant for 8 days. Once the plant grow 15 to 20 centimeter high, uproot them carefully while the soil is moist and put them gently in a large conical flask containing water. The soil will get washed off without any harm to the roots. Observe the roots carefully to see which plant have tap roots and which one have fibrous roots. Plants like maize, sugarcane, sorghum have two types of roots. Some roots are underground, whereas some grow from the stem just above the soil. The latter are called adventitious root. Latter means situated near to the end of something than to the beginning. Mark this definition. Beside the normal functions like absorption of water and mineral, anchoring and supporting the plant, roots perform some other functions too. Here question can be asked, what are the functions of roots? Roots show some modification to perform this additional function. Some example of such modified roots are aerial root, tilt root, runner breathing root, pneumatophores. Mark this point, it is important point. Take some water in a small jar, glass jar, put a plantlet in it in such a way that its roots are dipped in the water. Mark the water level on the jar and add 5 ml of oil to the water. Record the water level on the next day. Roots emerging from the trunk and branches of a banyan tree grow towards the soil. These roots are called prop roots. Mark this point. What could be the use of this prop root? In the beginning, the banyan tree has very few prop root, but later on their number increases so much that it appears like a small forest. In Kolkata, a 250 years old banyan tree in the Indian Botanical Garden covers a very large area. It is supported by thousands of prop roots. Is there any such trees in your neighborhood? Stem. The stem grows above the soil from the plumule of the sprouting seeds. As the sprout grows, the length of stem gradually increases too. There are nodes on the stem. Leaves come out at the nodes. The part of the stem between two nodes is called an internode. Mark this definition. It is an important definition. The tip of the apical end of the stem is called a bud. Mark this definition. Observe a branch of any plant and identify its different part as per the diagram. Leaf. Leaves grow from the nodes on a stem. Leaves are generally thin, flat and green in color. The broad spread out part of the leaf is called the leaf blade or lamina, and its edge is called the leaf margin. Mark this both definition. Leaf margin may be entire, dentate or lobed. Dentate means having tooth-like edge. Lobed means having rounded part that stick out from the main part. The tip of the leaf is called the leaf apex. Mark this definition. It may be tapering, pointed or rounded. Leaves of some plants have a stalk called a petiole. Mark this definition. Leaves of some plants do not have a petiole. The portion of the leaf attached to the stem is called the leaf base. Mark this definition. Small leaf-like structures may be present near the leaf base. These are called stipules. Mark the definition of stipule. Do you see stipules on all plants? Leaves of some plants have a single undivided leaf blade and a single mid-ribbed. Such leaves are called simple leaves. Mark the definition of simple leaves. However, the leaf blade of each of leaves in some plants is divided into many small parts called leaflets. Mark this definition. Such leaves are called compound leaf. This is the definition of compound leaf. Simple leaf and compound leaf are the two main types of leaves. Observe a branch of plants like rose, neem, coriander, hibiscus, etc. In different plants, the arrangement of leaves on the stem is different. It may be alternate, opposite, whorled, spiral, etc. According to shape, leaves are rounded, obovate, palmate, lanceolate, linear, etc. Take a peepal leaf and a maize leaf and observe them carefully. The peepal leaf is divided into two equal parts by a single mid vein, which lies along the midline of the leaf blade. Secondary veins arise from the midvein. They are branched and form a network or reticulum. On the other hand, in leaves of maize, all the veins are parallel, running from the leaf base to the leaf apex. Thus, the pipal leaf blade are reticulate venation and the maize leaf blade are parallel venation. Mark this paragraph. Flowers may have a long or a short stalk called pedicel. Mark this point. One end of the pedicle is attached to the stem. The other end of the pedicle is expanded and swollen. It is called receptacle. Mark the definition. Petals and other parts of the flower are supported on the receptacle. Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium are different parts of the flower. Mark this point, it is a very important answer. Question is, what are the different parts of the flower? Calyx. In the bud condition, the petals are covered by a leaf-like parts called sepals, which are green in color. They form the calyx. Corolla. This is made up of colorful parts called petals. Observe the shape, color and smell of the corolla of various flowers like the rose, chrysanthemum, hibiscus, mogra, kanhar, tiger, etc. Androecium. This is the male reproductive part of the flower. It consists of stamen. Each stamen is made up of anther and filament. Gynoecium. This is the female reproductive part of the flower. This is made up of carpels. A carpel consists of stigma, style and ovary. Here question can be asked about explain the different parts of the flower. So you have to explain all these parts. Take a vertical section of a hibiscus flower with the help of a sharp blade. By cutting the flower vertically from stigma to the pedicle, both sections of the flower will be seen to have the same structure. After maturity, anther bursts and the pollen grains which are released fall on the stigma. This process is called pollination. Mark this definition of pollination. It is very important definition. Due to pollination, ovules in the ovary get fertilized. Fertilized ovules form the seed and the ovary develops into a fruit. Mark this point. Here question can be asked how ovary is developed into a fruit. Of what use to a plant are the insects flitting about around its flower? Fruit. We eat many different types of fruit. Each type of fruit has its own characteristic. There are variations in their shape, color, taste, etc. Mango contains only one seed, whereas jackfruit consists of many small fruitlets, each with its own seed. Observe the fruit of burr, mango, chiku, apple, etc. What do you observe? Each fruit has a different skin or shell, fleshy part and seed. In case of fruit like cashew, its seed is outside the fruit. Soak the seed of pea, wheat, rice, jowar, groundnut in water for 3 to 4 hours. Press the seed with your finger and observe them. Which seed get divided into two equal parts? Seed which get divided into two equal parts are called dicotyledonous seed. Seeds which do not divide into two equal parts are called monocotyledonous seeds. Mark this both definition. It is very important definition.